Okie dokie. Welcome everyone to the first ever Women in Tech edition of Startup Funding Event. Woo! How's everyone doing? Okay, before we officially start, I would actually like you all to stand up. Everyone, I know it's been a long day. We're going to stretch the legs out a little bit. Okay, next to your seats, you will all find this little piece of card. And on that card, you'll find an unusual question, a question you don't usually ask during networking. I'd like you all to turn to someone you don't know yet, introduce yourself, and ask that unusual question. And only then will we kick things off. Go ahead. Okay, wonderful. That was actually super exciting. I really didn't know how that would turn out. But the fact that everyone was so enthusiastic about talking to each other, again, you'll be able to do all of that in about an hour or so when I've shut up over some free drinks, because I know that's really why we're all here. So let's be honest. But why we're really here is obviously to celebrate female founders and female innovators from different industries and backgrounds really making their mark on their world. You know, Startup Funding Event actually started about 1.5 years ago when we asked ourselves this pretty millennial question: how can we make our impact on the world? How can we change people's lives? And it's something that really does come up. Now, we actually started our own startup about 5 years ago, which is a video marketing company where we make videos through machine learning. And me, as an innovation manager, got together with the team as well, and we really thought about how can we use our background as a startup, but also working with so many different corporates, but our background in marketing as well, to help others who have such more diverse ideas than we could ever think of. And that's how we eventually created Startup Funding Event, where we're providing a podium for early stage startups to also pitch their idea and have their voices heard and connect with other people as well. So we started again 1.5 years ago. We've already done 4 different events in Rotterdam, Amsterdam, Helsinki, and this past June in the Dula. Quick hands, how many of you were here at our last event? Nice, welcome back everyone. And through those events, we've had 4 different winners so far. Scone, Captain AI, Felix, and our latest winner, Otflow. Woo! Yeah! But I will say, all of these founders are males. And that's why we're here today to organize a Women in Technology and Innovation edition. We've seen that about 30% of our applications have been females, but that actually a lot more males have been more persistent to pitch, and that females have been more hesitant, let's say. And we wanted to find a way where we can make this a lot more accessible for females to also pitch their ideas and share their visions as well. But to do that and to run today's event, I'm gonna kind of need your help a little bit to spread the word. So that's why when you are taking photos today of me on the stage and our lovely pictures and our panelists, please do tag us at Startup Funding Event and also use the hashtag Startup Funding Event. I would like to see all sides, by the way. I'm gonna repost them on LinkedIn and everything. So I'm just saying. Now, Startup Funding Event obviously would not have been possible without the support of the people who stand behind us. Some of our partners as well. We've had partners that have been with us since the very first event, and I'm talking April 2018, who have still supported us since then, and we couldn't be more grateful. I know, and I'm looking at some of the partners right now, we have actually called and emailed so much, but I'm super happy to say that I actually have a personal relationship with every single partner that has helped us so far, and hopefully we can continue growing together. Now, to head kind of into things, we have an amazing ladies to welcome onto the stage in a sec, an amazing panel. But the thing is, I've seen a lot of panels, and you know, the moderator asks a lot of questions, and to be honest, I can talk a lot, so I'm not going to do that today. And I actually want to get you more involved in today's event. So all like you to grab your phones. It's not what you should usually do during an event. But I'd like you to download the app. We already said the Startup Funding Event Questionnaire app, Slido. Or you can scan the beautiful QR code here and then enter the code, which is hashtag SFE2019. What you can do is you can also ask your questions towards our panelists, which I really highly advise. I'll be answering asking my questions, but I'd really advise you guys to also send in your questions as well. You can even vote for your favorite question, which is pretty exciting. And it just gives you a possibility to ask questions without being too afraid or kind of have that awkward moment of holding your hand in the air and then waiting to be called out. We're going to eliminate that tonight. Yeah? SLI.do. Enter the code SFE2019. Now, you will find there's actually already a poll in there. A poll asking, who are you? Now, I believe that at the entrance, you all got a sticker. A small sticker of different colors, which represents you either being a startup, corporate, investor, or other. Yeah, other. What you can do to test things out and to see if everything works in there, you can actually already click on the thing or the person that applies to you as well. But to head straight into things, why not, why not? And if it's working, it is wonderful. I'm super excited to kick off things with this incredible panel of speakers. Now, recently, about 2 weeks ago, we actually had a really nice dinner together, and I really got to know every single one of them, or on the phone, pretty well. And I must say, they've inspired me as a young female in technology as well, and I'm super happy to welcome them on the stage. So, I'd like you to all give a round of applause for Shaila Gamin from Atos. You can come to Eline Vrijland van Beest from Night Balance and now Blue Sparrows MedTech Fund. And Natalie Lum from Philips. So, like I said, I'm super excited actually to have all ladies here today. I heard from two of you that this is actually the first time that you've been on a panel with all females, from Natalie and from Elina as well. Oh, nearly. No. Second time. But let's just say it doesn't happen too often, and especially in the different industries that you're in. We're going to start off actually with Natalie then. Natalie, you are the head of global sponsorship. A really cool title, actually, very international. But what's even more special is you are also president of a really big part in the diversity and inclusion part of Philips. Yeah.
So Philips, of course, I think like many other companies, is really looking at to have a more diverse slate, because based on a lot of studies, if you want to have more innovative products, more innovative solutions, you need that diverse group of people to work on that. So for us, that's an important topic. And of course, HR is working on that, but it's also important that you have people internally as allies, actually, that create a platform and talk about this and also organize events. So actually what I do is that I make sure that also executive leaders, but middle management, actually everyone, that we organize internal events where we really create this conversation. And for example, I think just in general, when you discuss this topic, it's always very sensitive. But if you have an environment where everybody feels very comfortable, so we try to keep it very intimate and to really share knowledge, to support. We have all sorts of mentoring programs. But I think that what has been most powerful is to have executives be part of the program, because if they show that they embrace whatever you do to enhance this diversity, that really helps.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. And Elina, you have had a very different route, actually. You are the founder of Night Balance, which you recently sold to Philips. A lovely connection here as well. And I remember us talking, and what really inspired me is that Night Balance was actually like an exam project for school. It wasn't actually a separate business you started after, but you started it in school. How was that process from there to eventually selling the company to Philips?
Gosh, I could talk about that all afternoon here, I guess. So yeah, it was my graduate project at the Delft University of Technology, and actually my teacher would not allow me to work on my project. He literally, when I came with the question, can I work on this? He literally stated, "Girl, why don't you go play outside a little more?" Literally.
Ooh.
That would have been the headlines today, but at that time, I mean, this is 11 years ago, apparently, or 12 years ago, that was normal. And I see one of the judges in the rows from Sintens, but they helped me connect me to a company that would apply for the project for me. So they really helped me connect to the right people, so that I could work on my own project within the university. So that really that was the first step for me. Then I was very afraid of starting my own company because everybody around me was going into cool jobs with Philips and Unilever and McKinsey and Bain and I don't know, all the cool names. And I was really afraid. But at the time I was on a trip with my husband, and I saw this interview with a guy called Kelly Slater. And he, for the 10th time, had become world champion. And they asked him in this interview, how can you become, for 10 times, world champion? That puts on a lot of pressure, right? That was exactly the same pressure that I felt with just the thought of starting my company. And what he said really released a lot of tension for me, because he said, when I start my competition, I look at my competition and I feel complete peace with losing against my competitor. And if I feel that complete peace, it doesn't matter anymore. I can give it all. And then I figured, okay, if I'm going to start my company, and what if in a year I completely fail, everybody's laughing at me, I've lost all my money, and everything's gone? Could I have peace with that outcome? And when that answer was yes, I could start and I could give it all. And so, yeah, that went to first a million round, 3 million round, 12.5 million round, and then later on to an exit in Philips. And now I'm investing through 2 investment funds, completely focused on medical technology. So that's the history in short.
Quite incredible. And it's, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing as well. And to head on straight to Charlotte. Charlotte is not only obviously the client executive of Atos, but she's also the president of PWN. Can you tell me a bit more about how you found something next to what you're doing? Because Atos, we already talked about that, is quite a male-dominated company. And I'd love to hear more about how you eventually created or became president of something next to that, which is also supporting more diversity as well.
Yeah, so where to start? PWN, I think most of you have no idea what PWN is. It's called the Professional Women's Network, and I'm the president of the global organization, which means that it's a federation with 30 countries around the world, a couple of thousand members, and what we do is, well, the mission of the organization is to accelerate gender-balanced leadership in business and society. So we do that through projects with the EU, we do that through mentoring, we do it through programs, board readiness programs, and it's not only for women. It's for it's called Professional Women's Network. We're in the process of changing the name because it's for men as well. So yeah, so I lead a board of 13 people with 7 different nationalities, and yes, we are there.
It's incredible the way you balance all these things out as well. Yeah. And I've seen some questions come in right now. One of them is, you are all mothers. You all have multiple children, let's say, multiple children of different ages, ranging from, your youngest is 1, it's going all the way up until 21, I believe. One of the questions that came in actually is, how do you manage motherhood and the position that you have? Whoever would like to answer that.
So I have 4. Oldest is 21, the youngest is 10. And I must say is that I just started my position within Atos. I'm not that long in the company again. I worked for Capgemini and then I transferred into Atos. But, you know, children grow up. So they get born and then the first 10 years, they are the hardest, basically. So so the thing is, it's, yes, I'm a mother, but it's parenthood because my husband is there as well. And when we decided to have children, we had an agreement that we will do everything together. So although he was a senior executive in the financial industry, I told him you have to bring the kids to school every morning and make their bread and stuff like that. So yeah, it's something about having good arrangements. And sometimes things go wrong. And you have to be okay with that. And it works. So yeah, my children are still very happy to have us as parents. And
That's a good sign.
Yeah. They're glad to join us for Christmas, which is a good thing as well. But you know, I know that your children are younger, and I must honestly say is that, you know, there's not one recipe for it. And because my youngest is now 10, he's able to control a phone, which makes my life so much easier. Yeah, it's different phases. So.
Yeah, I've been wondering how to answer this question, but in my world it was quite binary because it was I was 24/7 working on my company until I sold the company, and then I had my time off basically. So I did not find a good answer to a work-life balance when I was running my company. I seriously did not. So I had an agreement with my investors that on Wednesday I would try to be home with the kids, and I fought for that like a lion because I also had U.S. People in my board. They really don't understand. Their question is, seriously, is she more engaged in her motherhood or is she more engaged into the company? Wow. But literally these 8 hours a week was the only 8 hours that I would really dedicate to my kids, because weekends I would be traveling around the world. I would go to all these congresses. And these 8 hours, if I could just keep it free in my agenda, I really fought for that. And but the time goes so fast, and the kids grow up so fast. And I really realized that when we got the offer of Philips, I thought, okay, if I want to see my kids grow up, so my youngest is almost 2, so she was born right in the middle of the acquisition, which was hectic as you can, literally crazy. And this is the time that I need to sort of step out, and so now I'm doing the other side, so the binary, the other side, which is really nice because now I get to have like normal time with the kids, and I really enjoy that. But I did not find an answer, and so if anybody has the answer, I'm really happy to hear that.
Well, I don't think I can give you that answer either. And like you said, I don't think there's one recipe for everyone, because it's all up to your own needs and your own setup. I have a son of 17 and a daughter of 15. And yeah, honestly, I think it's always a challenge. And I have a 3-year-old dog, who's actually even more of a challenge, I think. But the way I solve it, when they were young, we were able to have someone living in our house with us who actually supported me. I was first a freelancer for 15 years. I used to do projects for different companies. And what I still think, and I know it's very stereotype, but that our way of working in the Netherlands is not set up yet for full-time working parents. For me, when I was working as a freelancer, I didn't want to say no to my clients. So actually, when my daughter was 2 weeks old, I got a new project, and I thought, yeah, I'm just going to do it. But I'm not going to tell anyone I just gave birth 2 weeks ago, because they won't allow me to work, or they will think it's strange. And honestly, for me, but I can be also very practical, I just balanced it in a way, and I was very happy that this wonderful woman was taking over my place to take care of my young daughter, and we still have a very close bond with her. So that was my solution at that time. And now they're older, it's indeed a little bit more easier, but for me it's still important. My kids play hockey, to be there at the hockey field. But I also don't mind working on Sundays or in the evening, or my husband and I drink a glass of wine in bed, and we both work on our laptops. For us, that's a way of living, and we don't mind working like that. So that's my solution to the way of balancing work and life.
And actually, I'll be very honest, we've gotten quite a few questions in about, because this is just one of the questions that I saw come up, but also why men actually don't get asked that question about parenthood.
Yeah,
Exactly. It always seems to be, and obviously I didn't want to insult anyone, this question, but it always seems to be women that gets asked this question.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I think you can approach it from a negative position, or also see that there is a need apparently for people, for men and women, to find that solution. I think because the solution is not in place, people are just wondering, because even, I mean, I've been doing this now for 17 years, but I don't know if we really, touched on that subject in detail, but I'm still always intrigued how other parents or families solve that, like this week I'm not home any of the nights. Meanwhile, I get a notification from the Housework Institute, oh, your daughter this and that, and then I'm like, oh, shall I feel guilty? I'm like, no, but I think because they're asking women, because we still are intrigued, I think, because it's not a matter of lifestyle yet.
I'm going to go straight into the next question. We actually have more time than that, I saw. One other question is, you've come so far already, and I'll say this to Alina first, but is there something that still frightens you, and what advice would you give others to deal or overcome with those fears? Yeah,
of course, loads of things still frighten me, but I think what has always helped me is to have a vision or a mission of something that I really want to achieve, and that really helps overcome, to have like something in mind that you really want to go for, and you're willing to give up, like what I just said. What is the worst thing that can happen, and am I willing to let that happen in order for me to reach my goal? And if that answer is yes, and you can really answer that question to yourself, that really frees up, and that really, for me, what it did was it just, fuck it, I'm just gonna give it. Sorry for my words. I'm just gonna give it all, right? I have nothing to lose, and that really, that just changes something in your mentality, and I think that notion is what people feel, what my investors felt. I am still very young, by the way, but I was very young when I was doing my funding rounds, and the first $1 million was invested. I wasn't even 25, and that really the drive that they feel with you, and the dedication, and the fearlessness, not stupidity, not being blind to what you see around it, but just really feeling that you're willing to give it all to achieve what you have in your mind. That really, and I'm an investor now. If I see that on the other side of the table, that gives me so much trust that they're going to meet their end goal, because you make a beautiful plan, and there's one thing before you start your plan, is that it's not going to happen the way you put it on paper.
Oh no.
That's just the one way it's not going to happen, and it's going to happen in a different way, and there's loads of obstacles, and you need that drive and resilience to overcome them. And I think that those are the most important factors there. Yeah.
Thank you. And Shala, I actually have a question for you as well, as you are obviously president of PWN and also work within recently Atos. If you could solve any problem in the world, what would it be? I know.
Isn't that a question for a beauty pageant?
If you could solve any world peace.
Yeah. Okay, so well, there are several. I have a top 3, I think, and they're not in a specific order. It's the climate change. If the Earth's gonna die, we're gonna die.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. I have. I hate child poverty. For me, that's why I have 4 children, I think. But I really have. So seeing children dying or being abused or stuff like that, that's something that I really would like to change. And then maybe a little bit more on the digital side is that I'm quite worried about, I'm working technology, but where things are going, with data and privacy and security and that part, everything that's happening in the deep web and stuff, that's something that I really would like to see going in the right direction. That's mentioned like this. Yeah.
So you also believe that right now we're not heading into the right direction as well?
Oh, I think we're doing amazing stuff with
Yeah.
technology right now. No, absolutely. But there, of all the good things, there's also a downside.
Yeah.
And the point is, how do we take care of the risks that are involved with that? So, yeah, that's my concern, especially when I see how my children are using digital devices, how they careless, throw away their data.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let's see what happens.
Especially the
next.
save password where you can just log in
Yeah.
everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah.
Guilty.
And then Natalie, to you as well. Fun question actually. Is there a resource, book or podcast or something that you turn to get any business advice?
I actually like to speak more live with people. So the latest thing I do is that I free up 1 or 2 hours a month or a week, depending on my calendar, that I really meet with people. So for example, next week, Monday, I'm meeting with someone, and I really believe in mentoring that I learn from younger people, and I have an executive that's my mentor, so 2 ways. So I prefer to sit down and have a coffee. I used to be extremely digital, but I think it's also so different when you actually can, look someone in the eyes, get better sense of that person.
And then a last question to all of you, because we're going to have to eventually end the panel. I'm so sorry, guys. There were so many cool questions as well. I really like this question. Do you envision, to all 3 of you, do you envision more initiatives in 2020 on the line of more investors interested in startups founded by females? For example, right now, Funds Right has recently been launched. Yeah, that's the question. Do you envision more initiatives that are in line with investing more into female startups?
Well, I really like that question. So I'm in 2 funds, and in one fund I have 6 other males, and in the other fund I have 3 other males. And so one fund had invested, they were the founding investor in my company in 2010, so they do invest in females. But this Fund Right initiative was started because only 1% of the entire VC money that's invested is invested in females. 1%, which was crazy. And their initiative and thought is that we want to bring that to 35%. So really get the investors to invest in 35% of females. But on both sides, my own investment teams were saying, we're not going to sign this, because what happens if we see this really cool team with a fantastic technology and they're 2 males? Then we can't invest. And we can't and we want to be able to invest in the best technologies. And what if there are no females? How are we going to invest and get to our 35%? I don't want to invest in companies that are not, not the top. So partially it's true. I mean, even if you look at the University of Technology, there's just not 50-50 equality in the males and females. So partially it's true that there's less offer of females. But on the other hand, exactly that is the problem. The fact that people have the bias and they say, well, I want to invest in the top 10. What you perceive as the top 10 comes through your own bias. We all have bias. I have bias too. Everybody has bias. You can't go around. And the problem with bias is that you're unconscious of it. So to push a little towards it is very important. So I'm really happy that I think last week I was in a panel with Constantine, who is very fanatical about about the Fund Right initiative, and he literally gave me his badge, which is the Fund Right sign, and he said, "Give this to them, and if they have any other thing, I will jump on a call with them." And so I went back and I was saying, okay, you're going to have a personal explanation to give to Constantine if we're not going to do this, to both of them. And both said, okay, we'll do it. So I am currently filing both of the funds to the Fund Right initiatives. Wow. I'm really happy that that's happening. But I do see the hurdles that funds have to overcome. And it'll take some time, but I'm really happy to see that that is changing.
Thank you so much.
So what was the question again?
Yes. Do you envision more initiatives in 2020 where investors are interested in startups founded by females?
Yeah, and yes, I think there are some technology companies here as well, and I think not specific from venture capitalists, but also from, let's say, technology companies. There are more and more initiatives coming in to encourage female to start a company. There are two things here, because you mentioned, you know, the hurdles that venture capitalists need to overcome, and that's a big one, because there's a lot of bias there as well. But also, if you look at women startups, female startups that will pitch, I think, in a minute, just
Very, very
be, you know, just be bold and go out there and take some risk, because you know what, I think most startup pitches from women, they are well thought through, they are very well backed up, and why isn't it working for the most investors? So. There is something there that we need to focus on as well. So it's two sides.
Nathalie?
From a corporate perspective, I think since there's more gender equality also in the decision-making process, because it's, you know, getting more of a balance, so that might also get more of a pool strategy in terms of that there also will be a prerequisite that more female like you know, you're a great example, that that women that are beyond those innovations or startups will be chosen. So I see it also as a reflection of society, and of course in corporates that's something that still needs to grow, but I think that will be helpful in general.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for everyone who sent in their question as well. I could go on for hours, but we actually have an agenda and I'm running over it. So before we close off the panel, I'd like to ask you, if people want to get in contact with you, where can they find you? We'll start with Nathalie.
I'll be here for a drink till 7, so whomever wants to reach out to me and have a conversation, and otherwise reach out to me through LinkedIn. Like I said, I'm open once a month for coffee. If you want to come over to our head office in Amsterdam, we can have a coffee, and I would love to meet you and speak to you.
I unfortunately have to leave right after, but I do have a LinkedIn profile. Just find my name on LinkedIn, connect with me with a message saying, you know, whatever your question is, and I'll be very happy to help out, especially female entrepreneurs, and especially if it's in the medical or biotech. Those are the areas that I'm been focused on. So I'm happy to help.
Yeah, same. So
Find me online.
LinkedIn. And if you would like to get some sounding board advice on technology or the things that Atos is doing, then let me know.
I want to give a round of applause for all of our speakers. Thank you so much. Actually, before we do, I hope you ladies like chocolates. Absolutely. Thank you so much. One of our founders is Belgian as well, so we couldn't leave without the chocolate. Thank you so much as well. Again, another round of applause for our panelists. Before we head to why we're actually here, which is the pitches of the startups, we're going to do something fun. I right now am going to live out my Oprah Winfrey dreams by saying, please look under your chair. Under your chair, yes, you will find a startup funding event card. Because we've got a giveaway. For the people with the reserved, yeah, on the back of it, you'll find a card. On a few of the cards, you'll see something that says congratulations. Can I ask the people who have the cards where it says congratulations to please stand up? Hey! Can we give a round of applause for these people, please? We wanted to do something fun, and we're going to give you guys a one-on-one with the Startup Funding Event team. What I'd like you to do is, at the end of this, please go down to the Startup Funding Event stand, where you can claim your prize, and we'll get in contact with you next week as well. Thank you for living my Oprah dreams as well. You get a car, you get a car, you get a car. Next Startup Funding Event. Next Startup Funding Event. Okay. Now we're going to get into something very exciting. First of all, I actually want to give a shout out to all of our judges here today. They're all sat in front here right now. Startup Funding Event is actually very known to have a very unique concept when it comes to judges, seeing as we always have quite a lot of judges. In the last Startup Funding Event, we had about 65. Yep. And now we have about 15 to 20 judges. And the reason why we do that is because we see the judges as actually an extension of our team. Now, we have our expertise where we can help them with marketing and our own background in startups. But we've actually spoken to all these females and a few males as well, who have their expertise in so many different other industries, other things that we actually couldn't comprehend. And we asked these judges to be a real mentor towards these startups. So instead of just saying, oh, it's a good pitch or whatever, we actually asked the judges to give really critical feedback, but also think about, what kind of network do I have, and what kind of people can I get these startups in contact with? And that's why I really want to thank you all for being here today and for listening to the startups that will be coming onto the stage right now. Oh. So, before we do that, to the judges, from what I understand, you can you have the code within your judge's bag. Where you can, I think it's a QR code from what I understand, yeah? And then you can log in, and otherwise you also have your sheet where you can write on. But the fun thing is, the startups are now going to have 2 minutes each to pitch. But through the Slido app, you're also allowed to ask questions to these startups yourself. The only thing I ask is to write down the name of the startup first and then the question you want to ask. They'll all be pitching for 2 minutes each, one after the other, and then we'll have a 10-minute Q&A with not just the judges, but also the questions from the audience. We had our pre-selection pitches about a week ago. They were all so fantastic. We normally have a top 3. We thought we couldn't choose at all. Jeremy, one of our partners, was even there as well. So we invited all 5 of them. And today they're all going to be pitching for 2 minutes each. So I'd actually like to welcome our very first startup to the stage, Jorinda of Mastermatch, where you will have 2 minutes to host your pitch whenever. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jorinda. I'm founder of Mastermatch, and I'm here to tell you about how Mastermatch is going to change the way entrepreneurs connect. You see, we entrepreneurs, we need each other, and you all know that. But a lot of entrepreneurs are struggling to find co-entrepreneurs, including myself. I could go into a room full of entrepreneurs, looking for partners in brainstorming, and still go home with them with no valuable connection. It is always a bit of a gamble who to start a conversation with. Even on LinkedIn, you're not able to search only for entrepreneurs who are looking to co-found your business, for example. And that right there is the pain. It would save so much time and effort if I could just filter off everyone who's not looking to brainstorm with me or to become my co-founder, a business partner, or team member. But with Mastermatch, we're going to do exactly that. Instead of building a network based on what you do and what you're looking to, what you offer, we want to build a network based on who you want to find and for what purpose. We're going to build a network. We're going to build an app that is going to narrow down a worldwide network based on who you're looking to find at a specific moment, from entrepreneur to entrepreneur. And the next time, you just change your filters, making it less random and more targeted. That is how we're going to impact the way entrepreneurs connect, which leaves us plenty of room to grow, even in a market of networking. Why am I doing all this in my team? Because I believe it is entrepreneurs the world relies on, and we should be doing everything in our power to help them unite their skills, creativity, flexibility, and resources more often to grow their businesses. So finding co-entrepreneurs should be really easy, accessible, and super effective. We have a team of 3 with a lean way of working, and we are looking for support and your help and advice on doing this progress. Thank you very much.
Round of applause for Master Match. The next startup I would like to welcome to the stage is Moja.
I'd like to start today with a bit of a personal question. Who here is wearing underwear? Underwear's something we don't often give too much thought to, but we should, because actually not everyone can afford underwear. Recently, I was visiting schools in rural areas of Tanzania, and in a school of 68 children, 20 of them weren't wearing underwear that day, and another 23 only owned 1 pair of underwear. And this can be very dangerous, potentially leading to sexual dysfunction, disease, infection, and social isolation. But Moja is working to change that by really breaking the cycles of poverty that lead to difficulty in accessing such items. Moja is an underwear company, where for every pair of underwear we sell, we donate a pair to a child who otherwise might struggle to access it. And that donated pair is produced in the same community in which it's donated, really creating labour opportunities for women where it's needed most. We also give teachers tools to further give education on health, sanitation and hygiene. And speaking of education, we've also just launched a program to produce reusable cotton sanitary pads, because no girls should be missing school because they can't access sanitary items. So far, we've created 3 jobs and donated 1,782 pairs of underwear. Now we have a proof of concept, we're ready to step it up, and we'll be launching our new website and web shop in February. My goal in speaking to you today was to really raise awareness on the challenge of affording such items. However, as we look to scale, we're really after advice on impact evaluation, investment, and marketing automation. So tomorrow, when you step into your underwear, I hope you take a moment to realize just how lucky you actually are. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Moja. Let's welcome the next startup on the stage, Able Care.
So, hello everyone. My name is Marie-Noël Ashkar, and I'm Lebanese, and I'm here to talk about sex. Well, let me just change the wording. I'm here to talk about sexual health, actually, before my parents hear that and they freak out. Because as you all know, sexual health is a big, big taboo in my culture. But it's not only a big taboo in my culture, it's a taboo everywhere. Do you know that 1 million STDs are transmitted every day? This is claimed based on reports from WHO. You can just go check it. Do you even know that 1 in 20 women has chlamydia? So people just look around and start counting. But why is that? Even in Europe, rates are triple every 4 years. So I think we all agree on the fact that it's a big issue. And we, Able Care, want to make the difference when it comes to that. We want to make STD testing easy and more pleasant. You must be asking me, how can you make it more pleasant? Well, all you need to do, just go to our website, order a test, it will be delivered to your home, and then you will self-sample, send it, drop it off at your closest office, and then you will get your results in real time from our partner lab. So easy, fast, and discreet. So what are you waiting for? Order your test now. Well, at the moment, we're in Belgium, and we want to move to other markets as soon as possible. But it's not only about just reaching as many people as we can. We're really looking for people that are not getting the right healthcare that is needed, because STDs are rising, and this is a fact, and we cannot ignore it. And we want to make a difference when it comes to that. So please spread the word. Able Care is here to help you take charge of your sexual health. Thank you.
Thank you, Able Care. And we welcome our next startup to the stage, number 4, In Motion VR.
Hi, my name is Kiki Koppelmans and I'm a psychosomatic physical therapist and I work in the field of physical rehabilitation and I really like my profession. I'm really fond of making patients happy. But I'm really frustrated about the state of healthcare I'm in right now, due to the administration burden, due to the less time I can spend on therapy, and the long waiting lists. Because all of this, there's a really need for a more effective therapy tool for therapists, so we can treat more patients at the same time. But we also have to get our patient more engaged into their own recovery. And I cannot be there every step of the time, so there comes in technology. We have created with our dedicated team of Emotion VR, Corpus VR. It's a first fully mobile rehab platform that uses the power of virtual reality, sensor technology and data to speed up recovery. It helps my profession, my therapist, to treat more patients at the same time because of the remote care. And it helps my patients to get grip on their own recovery due to the game-like exercises. They're personalized for them and they can do that at home. And the data is used to speed up, to give direct feedback on their own progression. So together with the rehab centers, the physical therapist and the patient at home on their smartphone, together we can get them in motion for a better physical and mental well-being. And I hope for your help for more happy people. Thank you.
Thank you. She's already shaking it off. And we welcome our very last speaker to the stage, Davy.
Hi, I'm Dayanara. I'm a business owner, a mother to 2 little girls, and I am obsessed with creating ways to find more time for what really matters. If you Google time management, you will find there are more than 8 billion hits. There's more and more demand on our time and our ability to manage it all. There's an app for this, there's a list for that. We are all searching for peace of mind. Now, this is not about creating another app to prove this one is better. No, we're talking about connecting and using what is already there, but taking it to the next level. Let me introduce to you Davy, your personal assistant in your pocket. Davy is designed to support you with 3 layers of service, while you're creating time for the things that matter to you. The first layer of service is human assistance, someone actually doing something for you. The second layer is automation. The system will do something for you. And the third, and that's where it becomes really exciting, app interconnectivity, connecting to other apps you might already be using. Now picture this. Meet Maria. She's married, 2 children, in the tram on the way to work, catching up with emails. At the time she's doing that, the personal assistant at Davy connects with the dentist to book an appointment for the whole family, puts it in her calendar and her husband's calendar to prevent time conflict. Davy's automation knows Maria goes to her hairdresser every 3 months and books the appointment for her. And Davy is also connected with one of her favorite supermarket apps, creates a list, only she needs to order it. These are just examples. Now think of your own life. Imagine this, using Davy every single day from now on. Imagine the peace of mind knowing things are taken care of. Master your time, master your life with Davy. Thank you.
Thank you for all the startup pitches. So exciting to have more females on the stage. If you look into the Slido app actually right now, ta-da! You're able to vote for your favorite startup already. And while you're doing that, we are actually going to go straight into our Q&A right now, so we're going to leave it there right now. We have our wonderful runner, where we're going to give the audience first the opportunity to ask questions, and then we'll be asking some questions from the app as well. So to the first judge, if you're able to just state your name and what company you work for, and also to who and which company you would like to ask a question.
Hi, my name is Ank van Wielik. I lead the innovation team at KPMG. And I want to ask a question for Mastermatch. So I'm really interested in what you're doing, and I think it really fills a gap from an entrepreneur perspective.
Yes.
I wonder though how you make a business model of this.
Yes. Well, I'm really glad that I could talk, because I felt like I only had 30 seconds to pitch, and those girls had 2 minutes, but that's just my feeling. We're gonna start off with a free model before transferring that into a subscription model like Spotify or Netflix. If that answers your question, sorry.
Will it be sufficient, do you think?
You mean
So the question is actually, how often do you need an entrepreneur, a co-entrepreneur? That's
Yeah.
not something like, well, if you compare it to Spotify,
Yeah.
you might need Spotify a bit more often during the week
Yeah.
than this particular service.
Yeah.
That does mean something for your business.
I know. Yeah, we've defined a couple of types of matches, which a few of them are already mentioned, but one of them is also jobs and collaborations. And entrepreneurs are always looking for jobs and collaborations. So, for example, if they're working on freelance based, they can also find jobs from other entrepreneurs asking for their services. So there's different types of matches, which makes it interesting for different types of entrepreneurs at different types of times in any location. For example, if you're going to New York, you could organize some dates already before going there while you're still in this country.
Hi, I'm Anita. I work at TNO, and what I do in a daily dive is connecting people like you, startups and scale-ups, to bigger organization. And actually, my question is, maybe to all of you, just very short, what type of partner are you looking for to scale up your business?
Yes, we're looking for partners, especially with advice or skills in marketing automation, which is a very big one in e-commerce, as well as investment opportunities and impact evaluation.
Well, for us, we don't really see ourselves as only just a web shop. We really want to close the loop in the healthcare field, so we're trying to find advisors in the healthcare field mainly that are more interested in the sexual field as well, and that could help us with the follow-up process and when it comes to lab testing.
So we're looking for partners for investment, also in marketing, ondersteuning, coaching, support. So that's our ask.
Hi. We're looking for technical partners who are very much into automation, machine learning, but also the legal part around it to combine it all. Because what we're trying to do is as such, create an extra layer where you combine so many different apps and tools to create a powerful app. And there, it means a lot. I mean, I can just say it in a sentence, but there's a lot that comes to it. So a technical partner and then a legal is a good match for us.
So yeah, we're looking for a partner with software development and online marketing, and also for funding to help us reach funding.
We actually got a lot of questions in through the app. I'm very happy with you guys. You're making my work very easy today. Yeah, so we're actually going to start off with AbleCare. How do you protect personal data?
Well, one of our team member, he's a technical developer, and he's been working in the healthcare field for 15 years now. So he's an expert when it comes to data protection, and he was even working with, I don't know if you know Ada, or like kind of a chatbot where you just talk to her and then it replies to you. And then so he's an expert when it comes to data protection, when it comes to that.
Then my next question actually goes to sorry, Master Match. The biggest question that we actually got in the app is what differentiates you from your competitors?
Well, most competitors do you can put profiles based on what you do and what you offer, but we want to turn things around, and we want to be able to search people, freely search people, based on what you're looking to find, which matches what they're looking to find. And we also don't want it to be automated by the app, but you can actually do that yourself. So you don't get automatically suggested apps suggestions by the app.
Okay. Sorry. I hope that answers the person's question as well. Then we're going to go to Kiki from InMotion. Someone said, "Great to use tech, but isn't the problem more in red tape and administrative pressure?"
So that's we have a lot of administration burden, but what we do is that we have to take a lot of measurements and subjective measurements of our clients, and that's now digitalized. So it doesn't. So it really saves time for the therapist because it's already in their electronic patient dossier. So tech helps to lessen the administration burden, but it also helps patients to, normally rehab is very boring, and it's a fun way, and it helps them with the daily struggle of exercise. Yeah.
Then my next question, thank you, Kiki. My next question goes to Moja. Is external capital injection effective enough to solve poverty? Majority of factors are internal to Africa, such as corruption and poor infrastructure. How do you see that?
Great question. Firstly, our focus isn't just on Africa. While we're starting on Tanzania, our goal is to span globally and cover many areas where people are living in poverty. Our goal is not to personally inject money into a region, but to create opportunities for that region to grow sustainably. So, for example, we create the opportunity for women to have a job, and through that job, we provide underwear. We've noticed also in working with partners currently that a lot of the people who are sewing the underwear in Tanzania for the donation, they have the opportunity beyond what we can offer to do much more with that. For example, there's a few people, we've recently signed a new partner who give working opportunities to people with a disability in Tanzania, which is a very big taboo and very hard for those people to find work. So while they're in the program, they help sew sanitary pads, and when they return to their own communities, they have those skills to further that impact and to continue that employment position wherever they end up. So our goal is that we don't need to be there forever. Our goal is that we just create the opportunities for that region to thrive on its own.
Thank you. Last question as well goes to Davey. You got quite a lot of questions actually on security and data protection. How do you deal with that, and what about potential leaks that can happen within the app that you want to build?
Yeah, I guess, it would be naive to say, oh, well, it's not going to happen. It's happening with governments, it's happening with credit card companies, etc. So the only thing I can say is, and that's why it's important to build around a good team who knows what they're doing and be on top of what's happening in terms of security. At this moment, we're talking to people who, I used to work at American Express, so there, security is a big thing. We're talking about, what it is that they're doing to try to secure the data. We're talking to lawyers, but at this point, there are several separate advisors. And we're looking to actually build a board with all these different expertise in it, so we have a more in-house support. But yeah, we're trying to be on top of every single thing that's happening, but we're not naive. It's a real thing, and it's happening to huge, big companies with a lot of experience in the world. So it's a thing, but it's an important thing to us as well. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you so much. Again, I could answer questions all day, but we don't have enough time. Thank you so much, all ladies, for pitching as well and joining this Q&A. Thank you for everyone for asking your questions as well. In the app, of course, you are allowed to vote for your favorite startup. I'm not going to say it to you guys. You're going to have to look for yourselves. But before we round up this part of startups as well, because some of you might know already from Startup Funding Event, we actually don't mention who the winner is on the day of the event. The reason why we don't do that is because we want all of the attention to go to every single startup equally. We've noticed that with events where there's one winner, a lot of them grab onto that person. And for us, when we are picking the winner, we always look at the person behind the startup. And for that, we always need time to discuss, have a chat, and really get to know you guys a lot better as well, even better than what we've done in the past few days. So that's why we will be announcing the winner in a week time on the 5th of December, as you know. Yeah, Sintika. But we do have one award actually from one of our partners, and I'd like to welcome one of our partners to the stage, which is Lizard Global. Give a round of applause. Jeremy, you were here with us actually at the pre-selection pictures where all these ladies got to pitch. You got a behind-the-scenes glimpse.
Yeah.
First of all, you want to give the Design and Software Award to one of the startups as well. Why this award?
Well, one of the biggest challenges when starting a company, and I already started a couple of companies myself, is writing software. I mean, there's so much bad software out there, as you can see on the next slide.
Yep.
So there's a lot of bad software out there, and especially for startups, that is killing. I mean, yeah, exactly. Because as a startup, you only get one shot. You only have so much money in the bank, and before you know it, you wasted it on bad development, and it's game over for you. So that's why we thought, with Lizard Global, we'll award our own prize here at the Startup Funding Event for 17,500 euros, an agile workshop, a design, a clickable demo, and we'll actually be writing code, hopefully helping these fantastic startups, because I was part of the pre-selection, and all of them deserve to a good push in the right direction. But yeah, unfortunately, we can only do one. So yeah.
And can you quickly tell a bit more about what Lizard Global does?
Well, Lizard Global, we do web development, app development, we do UI, UX, artificial intelligence, we work on blockchain applications, and we deliver customer relationship management platforms. We work for some of the winners of the Startup Funding Event in the past, and we work for a lot of startups, but also large tech enterprises. And yeah, hopefully we can help one of these fantastic ladies also.
Absolutely.
So yeah. Because I'm the male, actually the only male in the jury, I want to invite one of my youngest colleagues to Lizard Global to actually do the announcement. So she will be pushing the button.
And in the meantime, I'd like to ask all startups to stand up as well.
So.
Okay, Lotte, you have the honors. And the winner of the Lizard Global Design and Software Award 2019 is VR. Thank you so much as well. And we'll take another picture on the side. Yeah. But I'd like to have you ladies still standing, because it's not over yet. Even though we are not naming the winner of a Startup Funding Event today, and the winner actually gets shortlisted to our big event, which will be happening in 2020 again. You are all winners. Everybody's a winner. And that's why I want to invite actually my Startup Funding Event colleagues to the stage. Because we have something for you. You're going to have your hands full, Kiki, I'm so sorry. Because we have something for you as well. We want to congratulate you guys for being the top 5 startup within Startup Funding Event. And know that this prize also represents us supporting you no matter what you do. Even if you're not shortlisted to the next event, we still want to help you. We still want to support you out here. Kind of like we've done the past few weeks. And to always reach out, to get in contact with our partners as well and support you in that way. So, I want you guys to give another round of applause for our startups. Yeah. And in the meantime, you guys can actually go there and take a photo moment. Yes, thank you so much. A round of applause for the ladies as well. Okay, it's actually closing of the event right now. But I want to thank you guys all for being here. Thank you so much to all of our partners for supporting us, our judges for being here. The event is technically, the main program is over, but other than that, there are still some really exciting things happening. On the 4th floor, in about 15 minutes, is a Venture Cafe, our Thursday gathering. And KPMG, one of our partners, will also be giving a workshop on making impact with an ecosystem. So if you're definitely interested in that, Ank will ask one of the questions as well. Go down there to the 4th floor. We also have a startup funding event speed date happening. I told you that the unusual questions will come back eventually. This is the time. Continue networking, continue speed dating, also on the 4th floor. Also happening, we have the exhibition of our partners. We have our partners downstairs, also our startups as well on the 4th floor, where you can have a chat with them and network with them as well. Our speakers will be walking around until about 7 o'clock-ish. Though, most importantly about the drinks, I heard from my colleagues I had to mention this. Downstairs we have the 0.0% beer, I think, and wine. But if you want real beer, it's also free on the 4th floor. I had to mention that as well. At about 7:30, we were going to be closing off the floor on the 7th floor and send you guys downstairs as well. Lastly, we also have a podium there for startups that actually want to pitch in front of our audience. You can go to the stand there and also give a pitch. Now, startup funding event is actually completely free. This was an invite-only event, but usually our events for hundreds of people, they're all free because we want to. The best thing that we've seen at startup funding event is actually some people take their grandparents. We've seen parents take their younger children, and the fact that they're able to do that is so heartwarming as well. And that's why we asked to support us and help keep this event free. That's why I'm going to throw a plug in there. Help support us by buying some merchandise. We have the Startup Funding Event notebook, which I use every single day, and also a lovely postcard of Rotterdam, a beautiful city, of course, here in Rotterdam, in the Netherlands. So go down to the stand. To the winners of the giveaway, remember to also go down to the stand and claim your prize as well, and we'll get in touch with you also next week. Now, to close this all off, we've actually gotten a lot of questions about startup funding event and how we've been able to create such a wonderful community. And what we've done is we've bundled all of our experiences and everything together, and we're launching something pretty incredible in 2020, which is going to be Elite Event Creator, where we're going to teach you on how to create your impactful event. So if that's either a Kickstarter that you're going to launch, or you want to create a corporate internal innovation event, scan the code as well, where we'll be giving a 1 free hour training, because again, we just want to share all of our knowledge as much as possible with you guys and see how we can support you there for free, because that's what we're all about. Thank you again. I'm so happy to have been able to be your host today. Thank you so much. And I would say enjoy the rest of the event, enjoy networking, and have fun tonight.